moving on from Vanilla Ice. So, Christmas season. Let's talk some Christmas music.
Let's do it.
What did you grow up with? That's kind of
like Christmas songs.
What built your what Christmas music was in your history?
Oh God, you know what? It's kind of funny. I want to say there's a lot of Johnny Mathis because my grandma loved Johnny Mathis.
All right, yeah.
So Johnny Mathis Christmas, we always played because we go to her house on Christmas Eve. My dad's mom, my grandma Dolores, and she would play like the cassettes of like Johnny Mathis and maybe Dolly and Willie Nelson. But like my parents were like, my mom and dad were just more like traditional. Like they would play the stuff that hits that are on the radio. Like, you know, it's interesting because I almost feel like Christmas music kind of like kicked up a lot more like in the 90s than like growing
Mariah,
up. Yeah, Mariah like really kind of turned everything on. And then everybody was like, well, now I want to do a Christmas album.
Doug chimed in with Charlie Pride, yeah.
Yeah. And so it's, I would like, it's weird because like growing up Catholic, like Christmas Eve, you know, is
Christmas at ground zero.
You know, we always went to midnight mass. And so like most of the Christmas songs were the stuff from mass that we would always hear.
Okay.
And that was always played. And then I would say like the movies and like the movies that we would watch and the songs that would be in that. Like you and I spoke about the other day, like Mavis singing Christmas Vacation at the beginning of Christmas Vacation. My family would watch that the Saturday before Christmas every year until like I left and moved to Chicago.
Yeah.
We'd have, you know, when we were older, we'd have drinks and we'd have food but we would sit and like everybody would quote the whole movie. You never hear the movie, you just quoted it the whole time.
I remember seeing that in theaters, and just the initial animation at the beginning I thought was just fantastic. At 9 years old, it was great. Yeah, even if I didn't get every joke in the movie at the time.
No, you get them later.
It improves with age.
Hey, kids, look a deer. And tonight was my kid's first viewing of Christmas Vacation. I know you can come at me, parents. I know my kid's, you know, a little over a year old, but we were like, we kind of had like our own little Christmas here tonight because we're leaving. And so this is our Christmas Eve. And then tomorrow's kind of like our Christmas Day with him. And so I was like, we got to watch Christmas Vacation. And so we sat and watched that, like at least the beginning. But like, to me, that's like that. And then I think my Christmas music expanded more because I am more of a Grinch up until about a week out. Like I am not a Christmas person until like December 17th. Like then I turn it on.
The November 1st, I got Christmas tunes playing in my car. They're in my headphones. If I've got a speaker in the house, they're already playing. Christmas music has always been very special to me, and there's just, I know Luke would disagree. Sorry, Luke out there, but
yeah, where are you, Luke?
I don't know. There's a certain feel about it, and it's always it hits you right in every heartstring, even the bad ones. I mean. They still kind of hit. And I remember my grandmother listening to Jim Neighbors albums.
Oh. He was on the other day on XM, and it was so funny. Every once in a while, like to get our kid into his like high chair, like we give him the remote, like, and the one day he just messed with it to a point, and all of a sudden like Gomer Pyle's on, and we were driving home for Thanksgiving, and I told Marissa, I was like, you hear this guy singing? And she's like, I don't know who that is. I go, you know that show that he had on, that guy with that like dorky voice, kind of a weird guy? She goes, there's no way that's a guy who sings that guy's singing right now. It's crazy. Jim Neighbors, what a great voice. It's insane that he has a great voice.
Oh yeah, I mean, I could listen to him. All the time, and it brings back straight memories of my grandmother, Grazier in McNabb, and the whether it's the standards that he would sing, or even some show tunes like the Impossible Dream. Just huge voice, and then you hear him play Gomer Pyle. It's like that can't be the same guy.
Yeah, it's crazy. That to me is it's one of those things like there's some people sometimes where they sing or they talk and they and you cannot believe that they are uh that's their voice, like
Right.
a singing voice. It's crazy.
Doug, I didn't know that Krista's sister had a Christmas album. That's a new one for me. I do want to throw some recommendations out there, though. Merry Xmas Volume 1 and Volume 2. Find those albums. They're fantastic. It's all the first one. They're created by Steve Vai, and
okay, all right.
My guitar playing roommate in the Army, turned me on to that. And so you got like Steve Vai playing the Christmas song. You've got Kenny Wayne Shepherd. Kenny Wayne Shepherd playing Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. Hotai playing Merry Christmas, the War is Over. And you've got just these fantastic versions of that. And then a couple years later, they came out with a volume 2, and it's just as good, if not better, as the first volume. And those two are just mainstays for me all Christmas long.
Yeah. Now I will say there are like, and I gave you like my songs that I really dig.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm not, I like some hokey stuff. I'm more like the hokey, like Christmas movies, like the end of Scrooged, cry every time. It's a Wonderful Life, the end of It's a Wonderful Life. I only have to watch the last 15 minutes. And because I love that. I love It's a Wonderful Life because my dad is George Bailey. Like that's
I never thought of that. Yeah.
My dad is the guy who gave people loans and like didn't screw them over during the housing market and never like did balloon loan. And and like people always see my dad and they're like, oh, thanks for that and all that. And it's like as a kid
Your
growing
dad
up
gave
seeing
me
that.
loans.
Right.
Yeah. I mean,
And you know what I mean? Like, and so like at the end of It's a Wonderful Life, I mean, when they sing Ole Sein, I'm already like the minute like he realizes that he, I need these people in my life. I want to live. I mean, usually on Christmas Eve, there's a little extra pep in my step because that's one of my favorite days to drink and go out and have a good time. There's a little extra, little extra heart feelings on that one. But that one is a great song to me. I just love that cast like singing that because that to me that's just Christmas to me. I don't know that one, and then
as long as you don't think too hard about the unrestricted Sunpride loans that dude's giving out and what's going to happen to all those guys in the future.
Well,
don't think too hard about it.
I mean, it's
all those garlic risky there, George.
It's all those garlic eaters. Like, the first time I watched that movie, Marissa, she goes, "What does that mean?" I go, "Italians," and she goes, "That's racist." I go, "Yeah, that was kind of the point. Like he was an asshole. Like the whole point of Mr. That's his whole point." But I like, and then even though I know, like, at the end of Scrooge, like I know it's not a Christmas song, but when he has everybody singing "Put a Little Love in Your Heart," like that's awesome. Like that is like I know it's not spontaneous because obviously it's in the script and everything. Right. I mean, he does go off script like at the end where he's talking to the crowd and everything. But that's the stuff I really love, those type of moments for music, and when it ties with the movie that's heartfelt and all that jazz. But then I do like give me Christmas All Over, Tom Petty. Give me, I could sit and list all the ones that like I really like that are songs that I could listen to in like February or like August and be like, yeah, I could really listen to that song then.
Yeah, I start early, but I do not go into January with it because I do tire of it, and I keep it to the, the 2 months. I don't
And see,
overdo it.
I'm more the other way. I'd rather, because January sucks, man. In Chicago, it's dark and cold, and I won't even let like Marissa take the tree down. Like I'm like, let's just keep it up, like because it's it's nice. It keeps you like kind of festive for a little bit longer, and then it's like, all right, well, it's Three Kings Day. It's time to take it down because that's the rule. You can keep your Christmas stuff up until Three Kings Day.
What is
Because
Three Kings
technically,
Day? I don't know that one.
that is it's when the three kings actually came to visit Jesus. They don't come visit him actually on the 25th. Well, first of all,
I was
Jesus was born on
reliably
the
informed
25th,
by Monty Python that it happens day
all
of.
at the same time.
Yes.
Right. However, according to the Bible, the three kings technically do not come until like a couple days, maybe like a week or two later. First of all, Jesus wasn't really actually born on the 25th. It was a whole pagan thing, but that they took. But hey, man, we're not going to get there and go on that. But so that I think it was from a movie. I want to say it might have been like some New Jersey movie or like New York movie, and they're like they still got their stuff up, and it's after Three Kings Day. They can't sit and have that. Like they were mad that they had their Christmas stuff up.
I've never heard of Three Kings Day, so that'll be new to me. The old movies were big in my house. It's a Wonderful Life. That's always a go-to, and Jimmy Stewart in that movie is fantastic.
Yeah,
But the White Christmas, that
and see, I hate that movie.
I love it, and I blame my dad, but I do love that movie. And even to a lesser extent, Holiday Inn. If you ever have the,
I don't think I've seen that one. I stayed at one.
It's a commitment. If you watch Holiday Inn, it's where White Christmas originated. The Irving Berlin made both movies. They're actually both filmed at the same inn in like New England, wherever it was. But it's in black and white, and the premise is Bing Crosby's character is going to open up this kind of inn where they celebrate 10 holidays a year, and they put on a show. So people will stay there, and it's a big show, like a Broadway level show. And they struggle on some of the holidays. Like obviously there's some fancy ones, like, there's Valentine's Day or 4th of July. 4th of July one's fantastic because you got Fred Astaire doing a really cool firecracker dance. But, and it all leads up to Christmas. But there's this whole thing with Abraham Lincoln's birthday where Bing Crosby comes out in blackface, and it's
what they pick as a day is Abraham Lincoln's birthday.
And they're, I mean, the lyrics and the sentiment is all fine and dandy, and it's all, because this takes place in, like, I'd say the 30s. But the Bing Crosby in full blackface and they can't take it out of the movie because it's an actual plot point.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, yeah, that's way off track. But man, it's
man,
but it's jarring because it comes out of nowhere.
Jeez, I will say this, to go back to It's a Wonderful Life. You know how like if your wife or your girlfriend and significant other, you always have like your top 5, like, desert island like people, like celebrity, like free pass.
Go Patty Duke.
my my number one of all time is Donna Reed from It's a Wonderful Life.
I don't want to say Patty Duke.
Number one, Donna Reed. And at first, when I was dating Marissa, she goes, "Who is this Donna Reed?" I go, first of all, she's been dead for like 20 years. I go, this movie's from the 40s. Like, I was like, Donna Reed. I was like, and this is the only movie. I go, it's in black and white. I just like, man, she's just, to me, ever since I was a kid, I was just in love with her.
Just tell her it's Samwise Gamgee's mom. Sean Astin's mom.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Mm-hmm.
Damn.
Yeah.
I mean, how old is he? What is he, like in his 50s?
I would no. He's got to be in his 60s by now.
Oh, well, I guess Rudy would be.
Yeah, I mean, you get a good 10 to 15 years on us.
That would make sense. Oh yeah,
I mean, the Goonies
for a while. Yeah. Well, he was. I mean, yeah, he was a little older than us in Goonies, but
yeah,
I didn't think he was that much older.
wow,
Wow.
that's a good 10 years. I mean,
All right. All right. Well, I didn't know if you were gonna get to like some obscure Christmas songs that you enjoy.
Well, I do have to
gonna talk
pitch
about that.
the ultimate Christmas album, which is Christmas
No.
Island by Jimmy Buffett.
No.
Yes.
Come on.
Yes. No, it is a fantastic album.
No, it doesn't matter. It's Jimmy Buffett. I'm sure Jimmy Buffett is a saint. I'm sure
the songs, I'll say this, half the songs are about a sailor's life in Christmas away from home. And I was given that album by my dad when I was off in the Army in Hawaii, actually. And, where you hear Mele Kalikimaka all day, every day, the entire month of December, and you just want to strangle every little, Santa on a surfboard you see when you hear that song. But it hit home because, man, Christmas in the Army, you want to talk about drinking. It's ugly.
Oh, I could only imagine.
The entire month of December, you have like half days. This is all pre 9/11. So we were unregulated, you could say. I mean, just the entire month of December, there were times that, I mean, you were just way too far gone by like 3-4 o'clock in the afternoon, because why not? You have nothing to do. Your family's not there. And we were all stationed in Hawaii. So it was like 2 months paycheck to fly home. It was just unrealistic.
Yeah.
And there was a ton of drinking, and that album really, really, hit you in the heartstrings when he's talking about I'll Be Home for Christmas and other versions in other songs. Even Christmas Island, the song itself. I like that album almost better than all Jimmy Buffett regular albums. And I know you guys aren't Jimmy Buffett fans, but he knocked it out on that one. I love that one.
All right, I'll give you that. I'm only giving you for that, though. I still won't listen to it.
And yes, his version is better than John Lennon's.
Merry Christmas, the war's over?
Yeah.
Come on.
Yoko just ruins it for me.
That's the only time she can sing good. She doesn't scream.
No, it's not
There's
good.
No primal screams.
It's not good.
The kids show up. It's great. What?
She can say hi.
Sorry. She's wrapping all my niece and nephew's presents for me. She loves to wrap gifts, so I cannot stop her. And so she was asking how much the gift card was for my nephew. In case he's listening, I'm not going to say. But yeah, all right. I'll give you. I've never been like a full Christmas album guy, though. Like if it's everybody, like a bunch of people doing it, like a bunch of different artists, different songs, but like just like a full album, like there's even Pearl Jam wrote a Christmas song.
Oh, really?
Yes, it is called "Let Me Sleep, It's Christmas Time," and it's Eddie Vedder and I think it's Stone or Jeff, or one of the guys, and they're drunk. They drank a bunch of wine in Italy, and they recorded themselves like making this song, and it's like, let me sleep, it's Christmas time. And so it's just, so yes, even the grunge men like even do it. But I will say, and I don't know if you know this or not, like maybe you do, but that Horatio Sanz and Jimmy Fallon,
the SNL skit,
right? The SNL skit, that Julian Casablancas from The Strokes covers that song, and it is fantastic. It is just like, it's a full, like, he like went into the studio and like made the song. I mean, those guys just dicked around. Like Sirius XM
the
has a
skit's
Jimmy.
hilarious, and over the years, they kept redoing it. I always thought that was a great running joke, but that's the only versions I've ever heard.
Do you know? I mean, I don't know if you know the story. The only reason I know the story is Jimmy Fallon has his own Christmas channel on Sirius XM during the holidays, and he talks about the song where Horatio Sands had the lyrics or something. He had the ding 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 ding, and he just kept playing it. And Fallon was like, Jesus, they're in the writer's room till 3 a.m. And he's like, you know what, let's just write lyrics to it. And he wrote lyrics to it, and they fell asleep, and they're like, whatever. And they woke up, and apparently they may have mentioned it to Lauren and everybody that they had a song, and they just put him out there to do it. And that's why Fallon is breaking when he's singing, and
because he never breaks on stage.
Yeah, Fallon was the fucking worst. God, that's honestly, Steve, I could sit and have a pod. Me and Danny love SNL. We've been watching it. I've never stopped watching SNL. I could sit and just talk about the guys who ruin skits by laughing on them, because they always ruin. When people break, a guy like Bill Hader breaking when he's doing Stefan, that's different, because I don't know if you know the story about Stefan.
I know the character, but I don't know a story behind it or nothing. No, yeah.
So John Mulaney is the guy who wrote the skit for that. He wrote the stuff for it, and they would go through dress rehearsal and everything and do everything, and then Mulaney would throw a different joke in at the end, in the middle, that he didn't practice on the cue card, and that's why he would tuck his hands. It's because he was trying not to crack. It was not something that Stefan the character did. He did it because he didn't want to laugh in front of the things, because he wanted to be serious. And Mulaney just messed with them. And that's the brilliance of John Mulaney as a writer. But off topic.
But there's on that though, there are times where the breaking to me adds to the skit, whether it's the more cowbell. All the ones with Will Ferrell, where Will Ferrell never breaks, but the people around him are just.
When David Spade and Christina Applegate break for the first Matt Foley skit.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah.
That's one of the best times that they break, because neither David. I'm sorry, David Spade. I call him David Foley. David Spade, man, just he knows Chris is gonna go for it. Yeah. But when he hits that table, it must have made such a sound that he was just holy shit, he really did it.
Well, to me, what makes it when someone is breaking, but you still got the center of the skit, like Chris Farley in that one. Chris Farley never breaks. He's still going full steam ahead. And then when you've got the cowbell scene, Will Ferrell never breaks, where you got Jimmy Fallon behind him chewing on a drumstick, trying not to laugh. Or there's that one
Debbie Downer.
There's the one. It's Will Ferrell. He's got the tiny cell phone.
And he's like a German.
Yeah.
Or when the best Will Ferrell, where I still don't know how he didn't break, is it was a skit after 9/11, and he wore the because it was you can wear. We said we could wear anything for American flags, and he had the American flag the
Speedo
on.
And nobody else. I remember the image.
And no one else breaks, and he puts that leg up, and I'm like, I don't know how anybody doesn't just lose their shit, because it was so ridiculous. Now, people, I want to know, it's Jesus, man. It is, and then I will say there are some Christmas skits from SNL to bring us back to Christmas, the Sweaty Balls Christmas, how the three of them, that's how good those three were actors, that none of them, the stuff they were saying didn't make sense, that you could actually get away with it. There's another one from SNL that brings me back to music right here. Christmas Time for the Jews, with the claymation, the SNL skit. It's it kind of looks like the California Raisin skit, claymation, but
I'm not familiar with the Christmas Time for the Jews.
It's called Christmas Time for the Jews, and it's everybody's like at their house celebrating Christmas, and all the Jewish folk in like New York or wherever they're at, like are out like watching movies and going to Chinese restaurants, and because they don't give a shit that it's Christmas, and but it's like a whole song, and it's kind of like a not Pointer Sisters, but like the Staple Sisters type voices singing the song,
Mm-hmm.
and it's all claymation. You gotta check it out. But that's another Christmas song, a Christmas song, but another song like that. And then you have a Hanukkah song from
A Hanukkah song.
Seinfeld, Jesus Sandler.
Sandler.
I mean, when he originally put that on SNL, like it was great, but like he was like, he said, "Don't do drugs, and don't do that." And then when he does his one on his album, he's like, "Smoke marijuana and all that stuff." It's great. That's why I like those offbeat ones.
Let's see. Anything more to mention on Christmas music? Shout out to the Chipmunk album. I also grew up with that one.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
I remember. Oh, wait. Luke said he fell asleep. Tell him to come on. Tell him we started late.
Yeah, Luke.
He just texted us. I will say this one. And this is a shout out to my cousin Brian, because when we would always sing it walking over to my grandma's house. Grandma got ran over by a reindeer. Like, what a dumb song.
Yeah,
it's so dumb.
Doug mentioned that one.
God, but that's one is the one I remember, like, because my grandmother lived next door to us, and so like, but we'd always forget something, and so my cousin and I would like have to go get stuff. Just great Christmas time. And Notre Dame won, Steve, in case you were
they played in Indiana, weren't they?
Yeah, 27-17. They the first play of the Notre Dame drive, first quarter, 98-yard touchdown run. He wasn't even touched.
My brother told me about that. Yeah,
wild.
Yeah,
my buddy Eric Carls is there. It's cold in that stadium, man. I tell you, I've been there in the cold.
Whew. Were they playing at South Bend?
They're in South Bend, and it's a night game.
Oh no. Yeah.
And that lake effect snow coming over from Lake Michigan is no bueno.
It's like Jamal's trying to join. We may get Jamal and Luke in here.
Steve, what's going on, man?
Hey, there he is. Welcome back.
Hey, appreciate it.
Just in time to chime in on the back end of Christmas music, which we could throw to you. What do you listen to at this time of year?
Oh man, this house cannot escape Mariah Carey. And I'm gonna tell you, it's like the bane of my existence. At this point, it's just like a running joke in the house. Like, it's like borderline torture. And some old school Nat, and that's really about it. Whitney Houston gets a lot of play in here, so that's what we got going on.
There's some great Whitney Houston Christmas songs. And she like pulls her voice back on a lot of them until she like really needs to hit it. Like she's like real. That's what's great about Whitney Houston's voice. That's a whole other conversation, but like she can sing and not like over sing. And then when she needs to like just kick it, it's beautiful, man. It really is.
Yeah, you listen to today's pop singers, then you go back and hear a couple of Whitney Houston songs, well before, I Will Always Love You, just like back in the 80s and stuff. And she just, that was a once in a lifetime talent there.
Definitely once in a generation talent. She's by far my favorite vocalist, male or female. So Whitney gets a lot of play in the house. So, but yeah, absolutely. That is definitely a different conversation, but nothing like Whitney even old Mariah Carey. I think we talked about this before. Like back in the '90s, Mariah Carey was something special too.
Yeah,
but yeah, they're just
she takes over the one holiday station on Sirius XM on Mariah Mondays, where she like talks in between the songs. It's not for like I'm like, all right, you should probably just sing. Like she starts going off about. She said like time is not a concept, and I'm like, wait a second. Like I'm like, I thought we were talking about Christmas here. Like, just calm down. Like
I've never heard her have a coherent interview in the past 10 years. I mean, not that I've seen a lot of them, but every time it comes in the news, it's like she's just kind of in her diva moment and just like speaking whatever words are popping into her head, whether they make sense or not.
When you have so much money, people just agree with you. They're like, yeah, sure, whatever. Whatever.
The you mentioned in a round at the house, though. I got to throw out there that I love to torture my son with "Last Christmas" by Wham.
I love that song.
It's a beautiful song, but all I got to do is just say, I put on those first couple notes, and then the beat kicks in, and he'll like run to whatever's playing the music. He's like, "No, stop it, turn it off."
My wife loves Do They Know This Christmas? Do They Know It's Christmas? Even though it's kind of a jerk song. You know what I mean? Like they're like, it's not snowing in Africa this Christmas. It's better to be you than it is them. And you're like, what the fuck? Like, what a terrible like
that Bono line always kind of threw me. Like, well,
the Bono line is
thank God it's there instead of you. It's like, what are you trying to say?
Like, holy shit! Like, what are you doing? I thought we were trying to make money for these folks in Africa, and like you just be like, yeah, good thing it's you in Ireland, and not you're not in like Somalia. Like, what the fuck? Like that to me, I love that song. It's a great song.
But yeah, it's in my rotation for Christmas. It is.
That line is kind of dark. Like
it came from a good place.
What song is this?
Do They Know It's Christmas?
Do They Know It's Christmas?
By Band-Aid. No, it's US. Yeah, no, Band-Aid. That's it. Bob Geldof's thing from the 80s, raising money for Africa.
Yeah.
And then they actually remade it.
It's terrible.
It started out good.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of newer UK singers that I didn't know who they were, but they brought back Bono and some other people. But then they threw in a rap break 3/4 in, and then it's, oh, okay, now you've lost me. It had no place in the song.
I agree. Totally agree. I will say this, and I'm not a huge Taylor Swift song, and I just said this to my wife like 2 weeks ago. That Christmas Tree Farm song came on, and I said, I kind of like this. I like this song.
From who?
It's Taylor Swift.
Oh,
and it's called Christmas Tree Farm.
Okay.
Listen to it, Steve. I didn't know it was her. I had no idea it was her. I've heard this song like at least 50 times. And I was like, I like this. And Marissa goes, this is Taylor Swift. I go, this is my favorite Taylor Swift song then. Like, hands down. And it's a good song. It's like, in my mind, your Christmas tree song. Like, I can't sing it. I mean, it's never going to be a thing, but great song. And then I got one more for you, Steve, because this is one of my favorite movies of all time. Is Billy Mack singing Christmas Is All Around from Love Actually. The old guy singing that song, and when he like messes with everybody. That to me is like, we talked about it before, like a song in a movie. That to me is one of the funniest things of the whole movie, is him just like shit talking the young guys. And then he gets drunk with his manager at the end, and he's naked. God, it's so great.
Did you watch the Guardians of the Galaxy holiday special? I think it was last year.
I did. That was kind of rough.
And I enjoyed it, but the band at the beginning singing the song, Christmas song about Santa, and he's really hairy and he steals things and he parties with little people, and it's and the Chris Pratt going like, that's true but not true. It's like it was a good rocking Christmas song there, kind of out of nowhere.
Like Star Wars Christmas.
Well, the Star Wars Holiday Special. That's enough.
Star Wars Holiday Special.
That would be a whole nother live stream there. Life Day. Yeah. B. Arthur.
Was it that bad or that good?
Oh, it's terrible.
The Star Wars Holiday Special?
The Star Wars Holiday Special.
Oh, if you've never watched that, Jamal, give that.
It's a money grab. And like
cocaine was flowing.
Yeah. Oh, now I got.
Carrie Fisher said so. I mean, she said she barely remembered it.
That was like the actual like people from the movie are in that, which is
you got Harrison Ford, you got Mark Hamill, you got B. Arthur singing a love song with Chewbacca and stuff. It's crazy.
It's something that should have never.
I kind of like B. Arthur singing a song with Chewbacca.
I think so.
Yep. It is one of the most insane things you could ever watch. Like, I don't think you.
It's on YouTube.
Yeah,
you can't find it anywhere else.
Like acid, you would not even like come up with something that in your head.
The concept is they're all celebrating Life Day on Chewbacca's home planet because they can't say Christmas in Star Wars land
because it's in the galaxy far, far away.
Yeah, they haven't accepted Jesus and stuff yet.
Santa doesn't exist in stars because it's so far away. Cocaine.
Well
this
said.
This sounds amazing. I'm gonna have to find this.
Welcome, Luke.
Luke,
I apologize for tardiness.
No problem. We got started late today anyway.
Okay.
Yeah, it took me, like 45 minutes to put my kid to bed.
So where are you at in the conversation? I'm hearing Christmas, so I'm assuming.
We are still on the tail end of Christmas music.
Yeah, we were about done, and Jamal came in, and then we were like, well, we got to keep talking about it.
Well, from our thread conversation, that I will probably not contribute to this one very well. So,
Luke, I forgot to mention in our text group that I was telling Steve, and for you listeners out there, it's a repeat, but the song with Horatio Sands and Jimmy Fallon from SNL.
Yep.
Julian Casablancas covers that song. Like he went into the studio and did it. It's so good.
Nicole and I actually covered it as well. I think I sent it to you guys last year.
Yeah, I mean that's what I mean. Like that's the stuff you got to do, man. It's like stuff like that. Like who cares? Like I told Steve, like I told you, give me like the oddball songs, like Christmas All Over Again from Petty, and like that's the stuff I dig. So trust me, I am a hardcore no Christmas music until Thanksgiving is over.
Gotcha. I have tons.
My wife, on the other hand, I think
was
November 1st.
Was that Petty song on an album, or was that just kind of a one-time track?
It's from the box set, but I know it was just like a one-off. I think
it was played with the Home Alone movie.
It's on playback. The box set he has.
I own every Tom Petty album, and I don't know if I've ever heard it, but that.
I think it's on the playback box set.
Okay.
I think.
I want to say Home Alone 2, that it was like maybe in the movie.
Okay.
But I don't remember. That might be like a false memory in there, but.
It's not fake news, Steve, because Donald Trump was in that movie.
There you go. But yeah, I do have tons of Christmas albums, but that's because I'm an obsessive collector and I have to have everyone's complete discography. So I'm trying to think. There you go.
That's
Christmas
cool.
gift from my wonderful wife. That's great.
Luke, I spoke about Let Me Sleep, It's Christmas Time for a little bit.
Yeah.
I was like, even the godfathers of grunge, one of the four horsemen of grunge, even made a Christmas song.
There you go.
And you know who else did? The Darkness. Yeah. I Am Santa. Everyone needs to listen to I Am Santa. It's a fantastic song.
And Pearl Jam's got a few others because they used to call that the Christmas single, right?
Yeah, well, they used to cover them, and then they would do some ramblings. And
yeah, Santa God, I think.
Yeah. But Let Me Sleep, It's Christmas Time.
That one's awesome.
I think I've only seen that. I think they played that at Wrigley.
Wrigley 2016, I believe. Yep.
Yeah. So it's very interesting to listen to Let Me Sleep, It's Christmas Time, Steve, in August at Wrigley Field outside.
When what's his name? Springsteen did Bonnaroo. In the middle of it, he was taking requests from the crowd. He collected the signs, and then he would reach in and pull out a sign. And if it was, Thunder Road, he'd play Thunder Road, etc. And he pulled out what's his Christmas song?
Which one?
The Springsteen's famous Christmas song, Santa Claus is Coming to Town. And he starts jokingly chastising the crowd, saying it's too because this is in August in Tennessee. He's like, it's too damn hot for Christmas. No. And as he's chastising the crowd, the piano starts the beginning of the song, and he had missed a beat, and he just kind of hangs his head.
See, that's amazing. Amazing. And that's also a great song.
And they jammed on it. It was great.
Yeah,
it was really good.
So that is a great song
for the set list chasers. Pearl Jam's got the same thing. People are trying to complete a list of songs that they haven't seen live in concert. So I guarantee you there were some fans that were trying to check that off of their 2C list.
Great. One of the best live people. I felt so old. I felt like I wasted my life, or I wasn't like a good person or something after watching Springsteen. I'm like, this guy is this old and he's running around, and I'm just sitting there going, I don't know if I could take another drink of my beer.
Yeah, Springsteen and Paul McCartney, they sprint up and down that stage, like energy out of nowhere.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like I said, I've got tons of Christmas albums. So Norah Jones, her voice melts me. So I mean, I can listen to that one no problem. She and Him, Zooey Deschanel, she's got an amazing.
Oh, those were so good. They did so many. Didn't they have like a couple of them?
Yeah. Yep. I think Christmas Party and yeah, I've got them on the shelf over here. I could dig through, but I won't.
That's another one, Steve, in a movie that's great singing is her and Will Ferrell in Elf. Great. One of the coolest scenes.
When he's spying on her in the shower?
Well, get out.
So, but yeah, traditionally Christmas music, and you were giving me crap about it, I know, but it just, for me, it doesn't have the content. It's very basic, and I understand that's the point, Christmas is gifts under the tree, in America anyway. Gifts under the tree, Santa's coming down the chimney, blah blah blah. That just, I don't know. It's not something that I would gravitate towards. But I know you said Sufjan Stevens did an originals album.
Yeah.
See, so I'd have to give it a listen.
It's a whole box set where he covers. I mean, and when I say it's like a box set, like it was, I have it. It's literally sitting in my parents' garage. It's like. It's a pretty nice box set, and it's him doing like his Christmas songs,
sure,
plus covers.
So I would give that one a listen, just because I'm assuming that like the Andrew Bird song that I sent the other day, it's probably got more beef to it as opposed to building a snowman in the backyard and then coming in and roasting chestnuts on the fire. So. But Andrew Bird did a complete album as well. It's called Hark, and it's all original. So I've only listened to it a handful of times, but it's a good album. It's just it's not as, I'm gonna say, cheesy. I know I'll probably offend some people there, but
oh no, you missed it. We're about 10 minutes of my going off on Christmas for a second, but
well, we beat Christmas into the ground. We can move on to another topic, and this is one that stemmed from a conversation I was having with Dan Schinder of Drum Talk TV on the side from an upcoming episode, but remastered music, what's the purpose of it?